most of your leaders are baby boomers.
Nah, dan ini hal yang harus kita pahami bahwa banyak sekali leader atau kebanyakan dari leader kita itu adalah keseluruhannya adalah baby boomers.
Right? And baby boomers, they do not handle negative feedback.
Dan baby boomers kebanyakan itu tidak menghandle feedback negatif.
Right? And your generation X and your generation Y is growing and they need feedback.
Dan sedangkan generasi X dan generasi Y padahal sangat memerlukan feedback dari baby boomersnya tadi.
Right? Very, very important. Your generation Y requires personal relationship. That is engagement.
Dan sangat-sangat penting itu bahwa generasi Y yang ada di dalam perusahaan adalah itu sangat-sangat memerlukan namanya personal relationships atau yang boleh kita katakan adalah engagement.
This is something that you seriously need to consider when you go back home.
Dan ini hal yang benar-benar Jacob harapkan bisa dilihat secara serius banget setelah nanti Anda pulang ke rumah masing-masing untuk memainkannya.
Because very soon there will be a new generation, and those are people, Generation Z, which is born between 2001 to 2005.
Dan sebentar lagi itu akan muncul generasi Z, itu adalah anak-anak atau orang yang lahir pada tahun 2001 sampai 2005.
The whole world has changed from traditional media to digital media.
Dan seperti kita tahu, seluruh dunia itu sudah berubah menjadi digital media yang dulunya hanya media.
Right? Right. So when all of us were young, we would say hello to our friends, but today our hello is only done through Facebook.
Mungkin saat kita muda, kita kalau mengucapkan hello itu bisa langsung mengatakan hello, tetapi sekarang itu hello itu hanya diucapkan hanya di Facebook.
Right? Traditional media is out. It is social media. Today you want to recruit someone. Where does your recruiter go and see first? Facebook.
Nah, segala hal itu selalu berhubungan dengan social media. Seketika kita merekrut orang juga sama, kita harus melihatnya dari mana? Dari Facebook atau dari social media.
Right? So this is not an ordinary generation. This is a big generation to reckon with. They are here to stay, they are here to grow.
Nah, ini bukan generasi yang sedikit populasinya, tapi sangat-sangat banyak. Dan mereka berada di sini, di tengah-tengah kita, itu menunggu untuk semakin berkembang dan bertumbuh dengan kita.
You don't have to lose any sleep tonight. There is another generation that is coming out, and that is called the Alpha generation.
Dan setelah itu, kita akan menantikan terhadap generasi Alpha untuk lahir kembali.
Right?
Yaitu tahun sekitar tahun 2010.
Right. So they are only born in 2010. So another 10-15 more years, we don't have to worry about them. But that is something that you have to consider because that is the time they will come into the workforce.
Dan mungkin saat ini karena ini baru tahun 2015, mungkin yang untuk generasi Alpha ini mungkin tidak terlalu banyak dipikirkan ya, karena kalau 2015 ini mereka berarti baru umur 5 tahun. Jadi
yes. The reason I shared this is because all your leadership styles will have to change. It will not be authoritarian anymore. It has to be collaborative. If you don't have collaborative leadership, I bet you your shutters will close by strikes and unions.
Nah, jadi Jacob mengatakan bahwa Jacob berharap bahwa tidak ada lagi cara kepemimpinan dengan otoriter atau
collaborative.
Dan itu harus diubah menjadi namanya collaboration. Dan Jacob menggaransi bahwa ketika Anda melakukan kolaborasi tersebut, itu Anda pasti akan mendapatkan feedback yang luar biasa dari mereka.
So, how can you become a more engaged leader? How many of you, put your hand up, how many of you spend at least 5 minutes of your time to talk with each of your key employees when you walk into your office? Fantastic, Matt. I can see one hand go up. Awesome.
Ada yang pernah melakukan 5 menit?
15 minutes. Fantastic. Please understand one thing. As your generations change, they are looking for more personal interaction.
Dan harus Jacob berharap bahwa kita di sini mungkin bisa mengubah persepsi kita bahwa Sekarang ini, ketika generasi tersebut berganti-ganti, mereka itu sangat-sangat memerlukan interaksi secara personal.
How many of you send out personal contribution cards in terms of an appreciation? Anybody?
Ada dari Anda yang mengirimkan surat apresiasi atau ucapan good job untuk mereka employee Anda, pegawai-pegawai Anda.
Anybody?
Secara individu.
Anybody?
Ada?
Nobody. How many of you actually send out a personal birthday card to your immediate reportee?
Ada yang pernah memberikan kata selamat di dalam kata ucapan yang pernah memberikan kepada Anda?
Anybody?
Ada?
No? These are things as leaders. I know you all sat here, now most of you will be laughing. But I think the time has come for all you leaders to understand, how can I break away from my traditional way of dealing to a non-traditional method, because my new generation wants me to be different.
Nah, mungkin kita saat kuliah ini mungkin sedikit berpikir dan mungkin tertawa, apakah ini benar? Tetapi saat nanti hal tersebut terjadi, kita baru akan sadar bahwa memang benar. Saya harus mengetahui apa sebenarnya yang mereka butuhkan dari saya sebagai atasan.
How many of you have morning teas just to celebrate successes? Small morning teas. Anybody? Nobody, right?
Kalau nggak ngeteh mungkin ngopi.
I can see a lot of people laugh, right? But I think the time has come, and the time will be very soon. That is the way the new generation will appreciate and have an emotional attachment to you.
Dan inilah hal yang sangat ditunggu oleh the next generation supaya kita untuk melakukannya, dan mereka akan merasakan, dan dari sinilah mereka akan merasakan bahwa mereka itu adalah bagian dari perusahaan tersebut.
How many of you actually lead by wandering about? That you walk around your factory, talk to your people. How many of you do that?
Ada berapa banyak dari Anda semua yang mungkin jalan-jalan ke pabrik Anda, kemudian ngobrol bareng mereka masing-masing satu persatu?
No? Nobody? This is what your new generation will require. They will not require your salaries alone. They will not require your salaries. This is what they will be looking for. And this is what you'll have to plan, what your new generation requires.
Dan inilah generasi yang terbaru ini, yang selalu dinantikan generasi terbaru ini. Karena mereka tidak menantikan hanya salary atau gaji yang diberikan, tetapi mereka menantikan personal.
Right? I'm not going to cover this slide because I'm just looking at the time that is going through. So if you would like to take a photograph of this, I've covered it earlier, but I'd like to cover something even more important after this. Have a shot of this. Most of you have got a digital one. Coaching we covered. Aligning all of your employees' strength together. You need to recognize and how to keep them engaged. So we're talking about care and we're talking about case.
Nah, dari sini kita melihat bahwa care dan case. Care, coach, align atau menyatukan, menyamakan bagaimana persepsi yang harus kita punya sebagai satu tim dalam perusahaan. Lalu recognize, pengakuan, dan juga yang namanya engage. Lalu case, create a community, juga authentic dan juga significant dan excitement.
These are all what your new generation requires.
Inilah care and case yang generasi terbaru ini nanti-nantikan.
Alright. Now this is something that all of you also need to consider because most of you are leaders. In fact, all of you are leaders, right? You need to complement the efforts of your people. I always remember the word what Henry Ford said. Burn my factory, burn my cars, don't touch my people. I will build a factory bigger than what I have lost.
Dan mengingat bahwa di sini semua adalah leader, maka dari itu Jacob tadi mengatakan bahwa beliau ingat
Henry Ford said this. Burn my factory, burn my cars, don't touch my people because I can build a factory twice as what I have lost.
Dan Jacob tadi mengatakan bahwa ingat terhadap apa yang dikatakan oleh Henry Ford. Beliau mengatakan bahwa silakan bakar saja perusahaan saya, silakan bakar saja pabrik saya, tapi jangan sentuh orang-orang saya. Kenapa? Karena dengan itu saya bisa membangun pabrik dan perusahaan saya 2 kali besar dari sebelumnya.
Very important thing for all you leaders to understand. There is never a good time. The good time is? The good time is? Right now. Very, very important for all of you as leaders. You need to be very relentless. When you are relentless and you're filled with passion, your tier 1, which is your senior managers, will follow you relentlessly. So you've got to be relentless.
Dan Anda harus mencoba dengan itu dengan tanpa kenal lelah, tanpa pantang menyerah. Dan ketika itu bahwa nantinya akan senior leaders yang ada di perusahaan Anda akan mengikuti apa yang Anda lakukan.
There is not a single business in the world that can fail. They only fail because the strategies fail.
Tidak ada perusahaan atau company di dunia ini yang bisa dikatakan dengan mereka memiliki bisnis yang gagal, tetapi hanya saja mereka memiliki strategi yang salah.
You need to stop defending as leaders over here, and your leaders who work under you, is to stop defending and to accept responsibility. That is the first thing that every one of you should have as a psychology of a leader.
Dan Jacob mengatakan bahwa seharusnya kita sekarang ini memberikan untuk tidak selalu defense atau defending atau selalu menolak untuk melakukannya, tetapi bagaimana cara kita untuk segera mengambil responsibility ini, tanggung jawab ini untuk segera dilakukan.
This is another very important thing that you all need to consider. This is the success of any leader. The success rule is 33 is to 33 is to 33.
Dan inilah gambaran 33%, 33%, 30%. Karena mentorship itu adalah komposisi yang sangat-sangat penting untuk dilakukan.
Right. So let's first look at the first 33%. Everybody's heard of Albert Einstein, isn't it?
Tahu Albert Einstein?
Right. Bill Gates. Mahatma Gandhi. Right. Larry Page. Everybody's heard about all these people. What do they all have one in common? Is they had a coach who would mentor them.
Dan mungkin tokoh-tokoh yang terkenal seperti tadi Anda kenal. Dan mengapa mereka bisa jadi seperti itu? Karena mereka semua tuh memiliki coach atau mentor yang benar-benar mengarahkan mereka.
Spending 33% of your leadership time being mentored is very important for your success.
Menghabiskan 33% dari waktu Anda sebagai pemimpin dalam perusahaan untuk melakukan mentoring itu adalah hal yang sangat penting.
As leaders, you need to spend another 33% of your time mentoring your employees or your direct managers.
Dan sisakan 33% seluruhnya waktu Anda untuk mementoring managers ataupun direct leaders di bawah Anda.
And the last 33%, which is over here, is you need to spend 33% of your time with people who are on your same level, like-minded people.
Dan 33% itu Anda tolong habiskan dengan orang-orang yang berada di same position atau leader yang memiliki jabatan atau posisi yang sama dengan diri Anda.
All the world famous business heads, country heads, sports people, they've all had one thing in common, that their 33% was being mentored by somebody on the outside because they gave them a different perspective.
Nah, di luar sana itu banyak sekali orang-orang yang mendapatkan mentor atau coach ataupun orang yang mengarahkan mereka adalah orang di luar dari kehidupan mereka atau organisasi mereka.
This slide is for you leaders and not for your immediate leaders. It's for you. You need to ask yourself one question before you go out of this room. You are a leader because you're recognized for your title.
Anda adalah seorang leader. Kenapa? Karena Anda dikenal atas gelar yang Anda miliki.
Are you respected? And are people following you because you pay the salary?
Orang-orang di dalam perusahaan Anda mengikuti Anda atau mendengarkan apa yang Anda katakan karena Anda adalah orang yang memberikan mereka gaji atau payment.
If a lot of your employees in your company fall in this category, which means they have very low energy levels and very low engagement level.
Dan ketika hal itu terjadi, inilah di mana perusahaan-perusahaan Anda itu memiliki keadaan di mana employees atau tenaga kerja yang ada di dalam perusahaan tidak merasakan engagement terhadap perusahaan.
Are you recognized for your relationship? Because if there is anything that is going to sustain and help your organization grow, it will only be your relationship that you have with your employees.
Apakah Anda mengetahui relationship atau hubungan Anda dengan employees? Karena itu adalah hal yang paling penting dan mendasar bagi Anda untuk memilikinya.
Ask yourself, are you a trendsetter? Are you doing the things that your people can see and replicate? Or are you an armchair boss?
Apakah Anda adalah seorang trendsetter? Atau trendsetter dalam arti apa yang Anda lakukan diikuti oleh employees yang ada di perusahaan Anda, atau Anda hanya sebuah armchair boss atau bos yang hanya duduk di kursi.
And the last one, if you can invest in your people will invest in you.
Ketika Anda menginvestasikan ke orang-orang atau ke tim, maka tim itu atau orang itu akan benar-benar tumbuh dengan Anda.
So when your people grow, you actually grow because they push you upwards.
Ketika orang-orang atau employees di dalam perusahaan Anda berkembang, dan otomatis Anda juga akan ikut berkembang dan bertumbuh bersama mereka.
Or are you recognized for the respect that they have for you?
Atau Anda dikenal sebagai orang untuk di-respect.
If you have got a combination of 1, 2, 3, and 4, I guarantee you that your company will be on the 99 percentage in terms of employee engagement.
Kalau Anda memiliki 1, 2, 3, 4 dari poin yang tadi kita sajikan, dia yakin bahwa Anda akan menjadi leaders dan memiliki employees yang benar-benar bertumbuh berkembang bersama diri Anda.
I know I had to rush it a little because of the sheer availability of time. So that brings us to the end of this session. I'm open for any questions that you have at this stage.
Ya, Jacob dalam hal ini mungkin agak tergesa-gesa, tetapi tidak apa-apa karena mungkin kita considering about the time. Dan saat ini Jacob membuka kesempatan bagi para tamu undangan di sini untuk memberikan mungkin Q&A, question bagi Jacob apa saja mengenai perusahaan atau apapun itu. Ada?
Or is it something that is not happening at all in your companies? Yes, sir.
Thank you, Jacob. Earlier you mentioned about everybody have a one magic button that you can push. Can you give us some example of that magic button?
Okay. Let me take me as an individual. Right? Let me take me as an individual. For one moment in time, I want all of you to assume that Hugo is my boss and I'm reporting into him. My magic button that I have is I'm dedicated. I want to give more to the organization. If Hugo can understand that I have dedication as my key factor, and if he can work with me, that's all that I need. He needs to give me constant feedback that, hey Jacob, you're doing a fantastic job. You are so dedicated. Human beings thrive on feedback. And he understands what is my strength, and that's the feedback he gives me. That's my magic button. So every human being, all of you need to understand one thing, right? Every human being is very unique. So every employee in your company is very unique. It is up to you all to understand, how can I get the best out of that employee? I think you may need to translate that part, very important.
Ya, tadi pertanyaan dari Bapak ini mengatakan bahwa tadi Jacob menjelaskan ada magic button. Magic button itu sebenarnya apa? Jadi magic button apa yang harus kita tekan supaya kita bisa mencapai tujuan yang tadi seperti Jacob katakan. Nah, lalu Jacob mengatakan bahwa coba kita seandainya kalau saya adalah atasannya Jacob, Mungkin suatu saat gitu. Enggak. Jadi mungkin saya atasannya Jacob, atau Jacob adalah orang yang berbeda dengan saya. Jacob memberikan kontribusi yang sangat luar biasa kepada perusahaan saya, tetapi saya itu memberikan apresiasi yang sangat besar dan mengetahui sebenarnya apa kontribusi yang Jacob berikan itu, dan saya memberikan apresiasi yang sangat besar dan tinggi kepada dirinya. Itulah hal yang harus kita lakukan, dan itulah tadi sebabnya Jacob mengatakan bahwa itu hal yang sangat-sangat penting untuk kita pahami bersama, bahwa hard work itu harus kita lakukan untuk mendapatkan esensi dari engagement ini. Jadi Jacob merasa keterkaitan dirinya dengan perusahaan dan juga dengan bosnya.
Any other questions? Yes, sir. Why don't you give that?
Jacob.
Tell me, sir.
Yeah, when I saw you, it reminds us to Mahatma Gandhi. So it brings engagement to the speech you delivered just now. Okay, talking about engagement, Jacob. We have a different culture whereby in Indonesia, the people, let's say those public workers works for the company. There are a lot of people. In a company, it takes hundreds of people work in the bottom part of the structure.
Correct.
When you want to address them, give them like 5 minutes conversation to know more, and they always come up to this situation whereby those people they are give more complaints, and they are start telling you we have a problem in the family. The people here is like to be spoiled, and then at the end of the conversation, it takes you to a solution whereby you cannot do anything. So for leaders here, to know much on this problem means to create problems. So how could you turn the conversation into solution?
Good.
Thank you.
Everybody understood, or should you go translate this in Bahasa? Everybody understood this? All right. So let me first answer. This is not a unique problem in Indonesia. This is a problem worldwide. The minute you try to get closer to the employee, the first thing they'll ask is, boss, how much increase will you give me? Boss, tell me, boss. Right? This is a common thing. So it is not that it is only there in Indonesia. This is where a leader understands what is a fine line. How do I engage with this person? Right? Now, let us assume that I am the boss and I'm getting close to him, and he's asking me, boss, when will you give me an engagement? When will you give me a salary increase? You know what I would tell him? Don't worry, you have got a performance appraisal in the next 2 months. So let us see how your performance is. We will see what can be done. Right? So you cannot change this overnight. I'm not saying you can go tomorrow and start having a 5-minute conversation with everybody. No. Please make an effort. Please make an effort. Because sooner than later, your baby boomers are all retired and gone. You have got Generation X and you have got Generation Y who's sitting there and looking at you. Why is my boss not talking to me? So you need to prepare yourself for that. Yeah? Does it answer your question, sir? Thank you. Yes, sir. Can somebody give him a...
Mr. Jacob, I saw so many banks in Indonesia recently, especially this decade. Many staff jumping from one bank to another bank. Is that the meaning that the bank in Indonesia lack of engagement, or maybe the workers lack of loyalty? Okay. Second question. Okay.
So can we stop this and I will answer? Then you speak the next question.
Okay.
Right. Otherwise, it will become 4-5 questions and I may miss out something.
Yes.
All right.
Attractive.
Right. Good. Fantastic, sir. Thank you very much for asking this question. If you can recall, a few minutes back, how does a company have 99% engagement for their employees? One is clarity. So very, very important. I'm not going to take this bank as an example. This is a universal problem everywhere. When you bring people in through the door, It is very important for you all as company owners to show them clarity. If they do not see clarity, they will not jump, they will fly. Baby boomers are jumping, Generation X will jump. Generation Y are all, hey bro, can I get a job bro? Alright, you are right. So this is a fantastic question. As all of you as owners and senior leaders, you need to create clarity when they come in. If you do not, they will fly. Does that answer your question, sir?
Yes.
Now you can ask me the second one.
Okay, you just explained about the company from USA,
Yes, sir.
Facebook and Google.
Yes.
I believe that one is a branded company, and then engagement achieved 99%. Okay. Can you show me one of the company with the same branded like the level of Facebook, etc., but cannot achieve 99%? Because as I know, like Google and Facebook, they have a very good facility, good pay, and then for the future are very good. Every fresh graduate now looking for a job. So can you show me one of the branded like that one cannot achieve 99%, with good pay, okay, good future, good facility, but lack of engagement. Can you show me one?
Which cannot achieve, is that right?
Yes.
Sir, I can give you hundreds of companies. Only thing I may get sued if I drop those names. I can give you hundreds of companies right now, but I don't know if any of you are related to any other company here. Because tomorrow morning I will have a lawsuit, but you will be laughing at me. I don't know. But I can tell you one thing. I can tell you one thing for all of you. I may not answer this